It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from Purple Moose Brewing Company, and this is a can of the Navigator Red IPA. This beer is coming in at 7% ABV in a 440 milliliter can, produced in Porthmadog, Mid Wales. I like the sound of this, and I think Rob Evans liked the sound of this as well, because Rob Evans from North Wales contacted me on email and said, you've done the Stone Crow Virtual Pub for a few years now. It got me personally through the situation that I like to call it. And I watched most Friday nights and I had a few beers, and as a thank you, he said, I want to send you some beers. So he sent me some beers. I've had some Polly's Brew Co. We've had some, I'll grab it in a minute. It was a lager from North Wales, and of course now some Purple Moose. So without further ado, let's get this Purple Moose Brewery beer out into a glass and see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening, beer in the glass. I love a red IPA. Absolutely love a red IPA. Very important to spin up that last little bit of sediment that might be in the bottom of the can. That's where all your flavour is. Gravity's a wonderful thing, but it does pull down all of the wonderful flavours that are in a can or a bottle of beer. And I've always been a firm believer of getting down to that last inch. It's almost like a German thing or a Belgian thing to do. And that's to spin up that last bit of sediment, all the goodness in the beer, and just get it in that glass. We got a 2-finger, slightly off-white head. It's got a great body to it, this beer. I can see it straight away. A lovely red hue is greeting me in the glass here. Have a look at that. When you rock that beer back and forth, you can hear the enthusiasm in my voice. Look at that. Carbonation chasing the head of the glass. You can see the body of the beer. Let's get the aroma. Whoa. Just makes me lift my shoulders and bob my head, and lift my shoulders and bob my head. Beautiful, slightly burnt toffee, sweetness coming through, a little bit of creme brulee. American hops. Toffee. It's got a nice balance to it. What happens when you brew a beer like this, a red IPA like this, you're using a lot of complex malts. When you use a lot of complex malts, and then when you kind of add a lot of hops, it clashes in the glass, and it clashes in a very, very good way. You can pick up flavours of marmalade and tropical flavours, but then it kind of ties back in with all of that kind of toffee malt, and it's just a wonder. So I'm rather excited about this. I'm going to dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh. For some reason, this beer's got me licking my teeth. Oh my goodness me, that's good. That is really good beer. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. Wow. Oh. I want to start off with the body. I was talking about the body earlier on. Look at the lacing on this glass. It's giving it away. It's giving that body away. Have a look as I rock the beer back and forth quite rigorously now. I can do it now. I've drank some beer out the glass. Have a look at the body. The carbonation, look, is chasing the head round the glass. You can see the body. You can, when you put this beer in your mouth, the beer just sticks, it just stays. Being a thicker bodied beer and being as hoppy and as malty as it is, it's not just slipping down your throat like a light pale ale or a light lager. It's not just going down and it's like, oh, that's refreshing, that's nice. This beer is staying around. It's staying around. There's taste buds all around your mouth, top of the tongue, bottom of the tongue, back of the throat. And what the beer is doing is, because it's so thick and gloopy, it's just sticking everywhere, all over those taste buds. And you're having like this maximum flavour come through of slightly burnt toffee, a nuttiness, a biscuitiness, a breadiness. The hops then hit you on the back end. It's got I'm breathing hops at you right now. There's a lovely bitterness that's just kind of lingering. It's not overly bitter. It works very well with the sweetness of that malt. So it's got a nice balance to it. That's a beautiful beer. That is a beautiful, beautiful beer. Oh God, it's got me, like I said earlier on, biting my lip and licking my teeth, and it's making my mouth do all sorts of strange things. Oh, so smooth. I hate to use the word smooth. It's such a scapegoat, big brewery term to use, smooth. Because back in the 90s when I was drinking smooth beers, nitro-infused smooth bitters, that give you some of the most worst hangovers that I've ever had in my life. You'd wake up in the morning, you'd be like, oh, I only drank 4% bitter all night. Why is my head doing this to me? And it was because it's like pumped through with nitrogen and all sorts of stuff they were doing back in the 90s to make your beer taste smooth. That's why I hate to use the word smooth. I've used it, it kind of slipped out. But this is smooth beer in a quality sense. They've used lots of complex malts. They might have even thrown some oats in here. I've not read the back of the can yet. I wouldn't be surprised if there was oats in the beer to give you that kind of rich creaminess, that kind of natural smoothness. That's the word I should have and wanted to use, was a natural smoothness rather than a artificially nitro-infused smoothness. I know some breweries are using blown nitro beers now. I know they are, but they're craft brewers and they are generally doing it with milk stouts, that sort of thing. And they can kind of get away with it, but if you stand, even for craft brewers, if you stand I'm going to use it. I had a bottle of nitro-infused Jet Black Heart, and I had a normal bottle of Jet Black Heart from Brewdog back in the day. And the normal bottle that was not blown through with nitrogen had so much more flavour, so much more depth to it. And that, I think on a personal level, that's the consequence of using these nitro-infused beers. But that's enough of that, because I didn't open this can of beer and talk about this wonderful beer to talk about the horrible 90s and nitro-infused smooth beers. This is great. This is really great. So to see the beer, it's hazy and red. Absolutely. The smell is caramel, citrus and pine. The taste is toffee, piney hops. Yeah, I suppose that's a very kind of like, easy kind of description to put on the can. And they're going to use those easy descriptions because there's going to be people who buy this beer who haven't got a great big massive 8,000 beer knowledge like I have, and there's going to be people buying the beer who have only just got into craft beer, so they want something vague like this. It's fantastic, it really is. I can't get across how fantastic this beer is. I'm going to rate it. Great lacing, great look. I can be as rigorous as I want with this beer now. Look at that quality beer in that can. It's my second can of craft beer from Purple Moose Brewing Company. Purple Moose sent me their high hops back around Christmas 2021, and that was glorious. That was a glorious beer. This is just as good. Navigator Red IPA, 440ml can, 7% ABV. I can't pick any faults with this beer. Any faults whatsoever. It's a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.